The orphan who painted his dreams. The sun rose slowly over the dusty town of St. Louis. Light spilled across the clay rooftops and narrow streets. Children ran barefoot along the dirt paths. Their laughter mixed with the low hum of market traders opening stalls. The wind carried the scent of fresh bread from a small bakery and the sharp smell of smoke from cooking fires. Somewhere, a goat bleated. Somewhere else a woman called out the price of vegetables. Malik sat on the edge of a wooden crate near the market entrance. His thin arms clutched a bundle of worn pencils and torn sheets of paper. Dust clung to his dark skin and tangled hair. His small shoes had holes in the soles, but he did not notice the rough ground beneath his feet. His eyes followed the movement of people. He watched merchants shouting and children darting past. He drew their faces quietly. Every line Malik made on paper carried a dream. In his drawings, he painted schools with tall walls and bright windows. He drew families sitting together under shaded trees, smiling and holding hands. He drew wide streets with clean houses and parks with fountains where children could run freely. These were not the streets of St. Louis. Here, the walls were cracked, the houses dusty, and the children often went hungry. Yet Malik painted with care. Each stroke was a wish whispered to the world. As the morning moved forward, the market became louder. People jostled for fruit, sacks of rice, and bundles of firewood. Malik's stomach grumbled, but he did not move. He concentrated on the image of a boy climbing a ladder into a school with a red roof. His hands trembled slightly from hunger, yet his mind soared beyond the dusty streets. A woman with a brightly colored cloth draped over her head passed by. She noticed Malik and stopped. "Child," she said softly, "do you have a family?" Malik shook his head. His eyes dropped to the paper. The woman frowned. She reached into a basket of oranges and tossed him one. He caught it, still staring at the drawings. He whispered a small thanks. The day moved forward slowly. Traders shouted louder. A drum beat somewhere in the distance, signaling noon prayers. Malik continued to sketch. Children ran past, chasing a tattered soccer ball. Birds called from the rooftops. Malik painted them too. His eyes followed each feathered movement. Each drawing became a small piece of hope. When the sun reached its peak, a stranger appeared at the edge of the market. His clothes were clean and neatly pressed, and he carried a small leather satchel. People paused briefly to look at him, and Malik noticed him too. The man watched Malik carefully, stopping for a moment before moving closer. "Child," the man said. His voice was calm. "May I see your drawings?" Malik hesitated. He had never been asked to show his work. Most adults ignored him or shooed him away. Slowly, he handed over the papers. The stranger's eyes widened. He traced a finger over a drawing of a school filled with children, all laughing. He looked at Malik with quiet wonder. "These are beautiful," the man said. "Do you draw often?" Malik nodded. He did not speak much, but his eyes were wide and eager. The man smiled. "My name is Idrissa. I travel to see artists and their work. You have a gift. Would you like to learn more about painting?" Malik stared for a long moment. Then he nodded again. His small heart beat fast. He did not know exactly what the man meant, but the words felt like sunlight warming cold earth. The crowd around them continued its noisy rhythm. People bargained, traded, and laughed. Malik felt a gentle stillness settle over him. For the first time in a long while, the world seemed patient. Idrissa pulled a small notebook from his bag and handed it to Malik. "Draw anything you want," he said. "I will watch and help you if you like." Malik clutched the notebook. The pages were white and clean. They smelled faintly of leather and promise. He set down his broken pencils and picked up the ones Idrissa offered. As Malik began to draw, the noise of the market faded into the background. The smells of smoke and bread remained, but they no longer mattered. His small hands moved over the paper, sketching a tree taller than any he had ever seen. He drew a river flowing beside a village. He drew children laughing in circles. He drew a boy sitting alone under a tree who looked very much like him. People passed by and whispered, "Look at the boy's drawings. He is only a child and yet so skilled." Malik did not hear them. He was lost in the world he painted. Idrissa watched quietly, taking careful note of every stroke. The man could tell that this boy did not draw for praise. He drew because his life depended on it. As the afternoon approached, the shadows lengthened. The market began to thin. Merchants packed up their goods. Children returned home. Malik's stomach reminded him of the day's emptiness. Idrissa noticed and reached into his bag. He pulled out a small piece of bread and handed it to Malik. Malik's hands shook as he took it. He did not speak, but he ate quickly, crumbs falling to the dirt below. After the bread was gone, Malik returned to his drawings. Idrissa stayed by his side. "You have a story in every line," he said softly. Malik looked up, unsure if the man could see inside his heart. The stranger smiled. "I will come back tomorrow. We will continue to draw." Malik's eyes lit up. For the first time, the future did not feel empty or cruel. It felt possible. The sun began to dip low over St. Louis. The golden light stretched across the rooftops. Birds returned to the trees. Children's laughter faded. The market became quieter. Malik gathered his drawings carefully. He tucked them into the notebook Idrissa had given him. His stomach still ached, but his heart felt full. He looked at the stranger and nodded. Idrissa nodded back. As the evening settled, Malik walked toward the small shelter where he slept. The dust clung to his feet. The wind carried the smell of cooking fires and the distant river. He held the notebook close. Inside it, dreams waited quietly. That night, under the faint glow of the moon, Malik drew again by the light of a small candle. He painted the river he had seen that morning. He painted the children in the market. He painted the man who had noticed him. Each stroke reminded him that someone in the world cared enough to look at his life. He felt a small warmth in his chest. The world could still hold beauty, even when it had felt so empty before. The next morning arrived slowly over St. Louis. Light spilled across the streets, turning the dust into gold. Children ran to the river to wash and play. Merchants arranged fruits, fish, and bundles of cloth along the narrow market paths. The smell of coffee mixed with smoke from cooking fires. Somewhere a dog barked and a goat wandered near a cart. Malik emerged from his small shelter, clutching the notebook close to his chest. His stomach still ached, but his spirit felt lighter. He found Idrissa waiting near the corner of the market. The man's calm presence brought a sense of order to the chaotic morning. "Good morning," Idrissa said. "Ready to draw?" Malik nodded silently. He had learned that words were not necessary when the heart spoke clearly. They moved to a quiet spot beside a low wall. Here Malik could work without interruption. He opened the notebook and began to draw. Today he painted the river again, but this time he imagined a bridge crossing it. Children ran along the banks and women washed clothes. He added small birds in the trees and a market bustling with life. Every detail mattered. Every stroke was deliberate. He wanted the world to feel real and kind, even if the real streets often were not. Idrissa watched patiently. He did not interrupt unless Malik hesitated or needed guidance. "See how your lines can carry weight," he said softly. "A bridge is more than stone and wood. It is a place where people meet and cross paths." Malik's eyes widened. He had not thought of it that way. He added more detail, drawing small hands holding each other as they crossed the bridge. Hours passed in quiet focus. The sun climbed high and warmed the market. Traders shouted louder, children ran faster, and the river glimmered in the distance. Malik barely noticed. He was lost in his imagined world, a world where hunger and loneliness did not exist. Around midday, a small commotion arose in the market. A group of boys tried to snatch bread from a vendor. The vendor shouted, waving a stick. People watched and whispered. Malik's eyes followed the scene, but he did not move. He felt a strange mix of fear and sadness. He had known hunger every day, and he recognized the desperation in the boy's actions. Idrissa placed a hand lightly on his shoulder. "Do not let the world steal your vision," he said. Malik nodded. When the market grew quieter, Idrissa reached into his bag and pulled out a small set of paints. "Try these today," he said. Malik looked at the colors. They were bright and vivid. Reds, yellows, blues, and greens. His fingers itched to touch them. Slowly, carefully, he dipped a brush into the red and made his first stroke. The color felt alive on the paper. He added yellow and blue, blending them with careful hands. Soon the river and bridge were painted in vibrant life. The children's laughter seemed to echo from the paper. As the afternoon moved forward, Idrissa guided Malik in observing small details. The way the light reflected on water, the curve of a tree branch, the tilt of a child's head when laughing. Malik absorbed everything. He learned that life was more than shapes and lines. It was rhythm, it was sound, it was silence between moments. Near the edge of the market, other children had gathered. Some whispered and pointed. "That is Malik," one said. "He draws dreams." A few older boys approached. They had not spoken kindly before, but today they watched silently. Malik felt their gaze but did not look up. He painted the bridge again, imagining it connecting not just sides of the river, but the people of the town as well. When the sun began its descent, Idrissa packed up the paints and brush. "Tomorrow we will work on another piece," he said. Malik nodded. He had learned the small lesson of patience. Dreams required time and care. He held the notebook close as he walked back to his shelter. The streets were bathed in the orange glow of evening. Smoke from cooking fires curled into the air. Children returned home, tired but laughing. The town breathed slowly, like a living thing settling into the night. Malik spent the evening quietly. He drew by candlelight. He painted the small bridge again, now imagining families walking across it. He painted a small boy smiling, holding a notebook full of colors. Malik worked late into the night. Hunger lingered, but it did not dominate. His hands moved steadily. The world he painted existed, and it could not be taken away. The next morning brought a small surprise. One of Malik's drawings had been left at the edge of the market by a merchant. It depicted the children playing along the river. People paused to look. They murmured quietly. Some smiled. One older woman shook her head. "Even a child can remind us of what is possible," she said. Malik did not hear, but Idrissa noticed. "See," he whispered, "your work carries hope." Malik nodded. His chest felt heavy in a good way. The town seemed larger somehow, filled with possibility he had not dared imagine. Over the following days, Malik continued to draw and paint. He learned to mix colors, to notice the subtle shades of the sky and the rhythm of the river. He painted families and friends. He painted the streets and market life. He painted the goats and chickens, the women carrying water, the children chasing soccer balls. Everything mattered. Idrissa watched with quiet pride. He knew that talent alone was not enough. Malik had heart, observation, and patience. One evening, Malik paused his work and looked outside. The sky was a deep orange fading to violet. The river reflected the colors. Birds flew home. He imagined the bridge again. He imagined families crossing. He imagined the town, seeing not just its dust and struggle, but its beauty as well. He smiled softly. For the first time, he felt that the dreams he painted could reach beyond the paper. The following morning, St. Louis awoke slowly beneath a soft pink sky. The river glimmered as sunlight touched its surface. Women carried clay pots to fetch water. Children ran along the dirt streets, their laughter echoing between the narrow houses. Merchants arranged their goods with care. The scent of fresh bread mingled with the smoke from cooking fires. Malik stepped into the market carrying his notebook. His fingers lingered on its worn edges. Idrissa waited near the riverbank today. The man's calm presence had become part of Malik's routine. "Good morning," he said softly. "Are you ready for today's work?" Malik nodded and opened the notebook. Today he planned to paint the market, but not as it was. He wanted to show what he felt it could be. Stalls with neat cloths, children with full stomachs, families laughing as they moved through the streets. He began with a small sketch of a boy chasing a chicken. The lines were careful, deliberate. He added the merchant selling bread, the woman with water jugs, and the river that reflected the sunlight. Idrissa watched quietly. He occasionally pointed to a detail. "Notice how the shadow falls here. Notice the curve of her shoulder. These details give life to your story." Malik nodded, absorbing every word. As the morning moved forward, people began to notice Malik's work. Some stopped to watch. A few whispered among themselves. "That child sees more than we do," said one woman. Others smiled quietly. Malik continued to draw, unaware of the attention. His eyes were fixed on the paper, his hands moving steadily. Around midday, a small group of children approached. They had teased Malik before. Today, however, they simply watched. Malik did not look up. He painted the children laughing near the river. He painted them holding hands, playing freely. The older boys leaned closer. One whispered, "He makes the world look happy." Malik's lips curved slightly. He did not speak, but his heart felt a small warmth. Idrissa pulled a small set of paints from his bag. "Try it in color today," he said. Malik dipped a brush into a bright yellow and added the sun to the sky. He used blue for the river and green for the trees along its banks. Slowly, the market came alive in color. The children's laughter seemed to echo from the paper. The river shimmered. The sunlight fell across the streets. Malik's imagination painted a world beyond the dusty reality. As the afternoon advanced, the town moved with its usual rhythm. Merchants packed up goods. Children returned home. The river reflected the fading light. Malik painted quietly. He imagined families crossing a small wooden bridge that spanned the water. He drew their faces smiling, their hands held together. He painted the sky in shades of orange and purple as the sun sank low. Idrissa observed every stroke. "Your work has power," he said softly. "It can make people see hope where they only saw struggle." Malik nodded. He did not fully understand the words, but he felt them in his chest. He wanted his paintings to carry more than color. He wanted them to carry a message of possibility, of life beyond the hardship. When the sun began to fade, Malik gathered his papers carefully. He tucked them into the notebook. The river glimmered in the evening light. Birds returned to their nests. Smoke from cooking fires curled upward. Children's laughter grew distant as they returned home. Malik walked back to his small shelter, carrying the notebook close. That evening, he drew again under the soft glow of a candle. He painted the bridge once more, imagining families crossing. He painted a small boy sitting quietly with his notebook, dreaming of brighter days. Each stroke was careful, deliberate. He worked late into the night. Hunger lingered, but it no longer dominated his mind. The world he painted was alive. It could not be taken away. Over the following days, Malik's routine continued. He painted, observed, and learned. Idrissa guided him in blending colors and capturing life's small rhythms. Malik began to understand the subtleties of light, shadow, and movement. He painted children playing in the streets, women carrying water, and merchants arranging goods. He painted the river at different times of the day. Each piece became more detailed, more alive, more a reflection of hope. One afternoon, as Malik worked near the river, a group of villagers gathered. They had heard of the boy who painted dreams. They whispered quietly and pointed. Some smiled, some shook their heads. One older man said, "Perhaps even a child can show us a better life." Malik did not hear them, but Idrissa noticed. He nodded. "See," he whispered, "your art is touching the town." Malik's chest swelled with a quiet pride. As the sun dipped low that evening, Malik put the final touches on a painting of the market filled with color and life. He imagined families laughing together. Children played without hunger or fear. Women moved gracefully with their baskets. The bridge crossed the river. Birds flew freely. Malik held the brush still. He looked at his work and smiled softly. For the first time, he felt that his dreams were no longer just on paper. They had a presence in the world around him. The morning arrived calm over St. Louis. Sunlight touched the rooftops and dust alike. Birds called from the trees. The river reflected the sky with quiet shimmer. Merchants laid out baskets of fruit. Children ran along the streets, laughing, chasing each other barefoot. Smoke curled from cooking fires, mingling with the smell of fresh bread. Malik stepped into the market, notebook in hand. Today felt different. Idrissa waited near the riverbank. His calm presence had become part of Malik's days. "Are you ready?" he asked. Malik nodded. Today he would paint something larger, a vision of the town as he imagined it could be. A town full of laughter, of families walking together, children playing, markets full of life. His fingers lingered over the notebook before opening it. He began with the river. He painted the bridge larger than before. Children ran along its sides. Women carried baskets and pots, moving carefully and gracefully. The colors were brighter today, bolder. Reds, yellows, blues, and greens came alive beneath his brush. Idrissa watched quietly. "You are painting more than the town," he said softly. "You are painting the hope it can hold." Malik nodded. Around midday, villagers stopped to watch. Some whispered, some smiled quietly. Malik continued, unaware of their attention. He painted families laughing together. He painted men selling goods in the market, women arranging cloths, children chasing chickens. He added details he had never painted before, like the curve of a riverbank or the tilt of a roof catching the sun. A small crowd of children gathered to watch Malik work. Some had teased him before, some had ignored him. Today, they simply watched quietly. Malik painted a boy holding a notebook full of dreams. The children whispered among themselves, "He draws life," one said softly. Malik smiled slightly without looking up. His heart felt a quiet warmth. Idrissa reached into his bag and pulled out additional brushes and colors. "Try using these," he said. Malik dipped a brush into a bright orange. The sun in his painting glowed with warmth. He added soft shadows, deep greens, and the soft blue of the river. Slowly, The town on his paper became more vivid than the dusty streets around him. As the afternoon moved forward, the market carried on its usual rhythm. Merchants packed their goods. Children ran home. Birds returned to their nests. Malik continued to paint. Each stroke carried intention. Each line carried hope. His eyes observed everything. His hands translated life onto paper. The bridge in his painting now connected more than the riverbanks. It connected people, dreams, and possibility. By late afternoon, villagers moved closer. Some touched the edges of Malik's paper. A woman whispered, "Even a child can remind us of what is possible." Malik did not hear her. Idrissa noticed and nodded. "Your work is more than art," he said softly. "It is a gift to the town." Malik's chest swelled quietly. He felt the weight of the words without fully understanding them. When the sun began to set, Malik put the final touches on a painting of the river, the bridge, and the market full of life. He imagined families walking across the bridge. He painted children laughing and holding hands. He painted merchants greeting customers with smiles. The river reflected the colors of the sky. Birds flew above. Everything was alive. Malik stepped back and looked at his work. A small smile formed on his lips. That evening, as the town settled, Malik tucked the notebook under his arm. Smoke curled from cooking fires. Children's laughter faded. The river glimmered under the last light of day. Malik walked toward his small shelter. Hunger lingered, but it no longer defined him. His dreams now had shape, color, and life. Over the following weeks, Malik continued to paint every day. Idrissa guided him, taught him about light, shadow, and composition. Malik's skill grew. He painted the river in every season, children playing in the streets, women carrying water, merchants arranging their goods, families laughing under trees. His work began to inspire the town. People paused to look. They whispered quietly. They smiled. Hope seemed to grow quietly around Malik. One afternoon, Malik sat by the river, notebook in hand. He looked at the bridge in his painting. Families crossed it. Children ran freely. Birds flew above. The market was alive and colorful. He imagined a future where the dusty streets of St. Louis reflected the world he painted. Idrissa stood beside him, calm as ever. "You have done more than draw," he said. "You have given the town a vision." Malik nodded quietly. He felt the truth of the words. As the sun sank low that evening, Malik painted under the glow of a candle. He painted families walking across the bridge, children running, merchants smiling, and the river reflecting the sky. Each stroke carried intention, patience, and hope. The town outside remained dusty and quiet, but Malik's vision brought warmth and possibility. His dreams were alive. They could not be taken away. And so, in the small town of St. Louis, the orphan who painted his dreams became a quiet witness to life, a storyteller of hope, and a bearer of light. Through the pages of his notebook, through the strokes of his brush, Malik reminded the town that even in dust and hunger, beauty, possibility, and human connection could still thrive. The town began to see not just what it was, but what it could be. The bridge in Malik's paintings became more than wood and stone. It became a symbol of hope, of connection, and of the quiet strength of a boy who dared to dream. The orphan who painted his dreams continued to paint. And as he painted, St. Louis slowly learned to see the beauty that had always been there, waiting quietly beneath the dust. In the dusty streets of St. Louis, young Malik has nothing but a worn notebook and a dream. Orphaned and hungry, he turns his pain into art, painting a world full of hope, laughter, and possibility. When a traveling collector recognizes his talent, Malik's creations begin to inspire his entire village. Witness the incredible journey of the boy who painted his dreams, and see how one child's imagination can change a community. Watch now and discover how hope can bloom in the most unexpected places.